Hi. We just had Guerrilla Larp design and now coming to Kamikaze Design. So it's gonna be Piotr Milewski. He's half of a duo who did so many things that I would just keep on mentioning the names. So please catch him after the presentation and talk about, well, Summer Week, HardCon, Dream Haven, and also Serious Game Studio, the game that does indie games. And he'll tell you about the perks of playing a game more than once.
Hello, guys. Up? I don't know. It's working. Okay. So, hello. Welcome to Krakow. Welcome to the conference. I just wanted to tell you, Alessandro, that for me, Guerrilla Design is when we are playing in IKEA LARP and we don't ask for permission. I don't know if it fits your description. But today I'm going to tell you a little bit about something what we call Kamikaze Design. And actually, it was Beszek who convinced me to do it because I dropped this sentence by accident to another presentation. And he said, "Oh, I like the phrase. It's catchy. So let's talk about it more during the portal." So firstly, I would like to ask you, who out of all of you guys here on the audience ever designed a LARP? Please raise your hands. Okay, thank you, perfect. And who out of all of the people have in the portfolio a game that was played only once? Okay, so you are not only LARP designers, you are also kamikaze LARP designers. We, all of us are, and I'm gonna tell you shortly what exactly it means in my definition. So, the kamikaze basically is about hitting the middle and hitting the perfect spot. Sometimes it's the way things should work. Sometimes it's how we want them to work and to make it faster and more efficient. Sometimes it's just desired how things should be done, and sometimes we are awarded for that. Like, this is the award we're going to get for hitting the middle. But before I go to the whole definition of what Kamikaze Design, in my opinion, is, let's talk about LARPs, because we are all LARP designers, that's why we gathered here. So let's talk a little bit about some crucial factors that make us a kamikaze in the whole nature of LARPs as they are. The first and foremost, the most important thing is that LARPs are ephemeral. So they are very delicate, they are fragile. They are an art form or a craft form, whatever you call it, whatever it is to you. You may feel as an artist, you may feel as the entertainers. It's irrelevant. The point is that this is the experience that lasts some minutes, few hours, couple of days, but that's it. Then they disappear, they evaporate. Of course, there is this nice theory in Nordic book called Larp Design, that the LARP starts when it's announced, and everything that's going on since that moment is a LARP, and also the LARP ends when the last person who participated or even heard about it dies. Let's really extend it at broad definition, but let's check where the boundaries of discussion is. This is what's said in the LARP Design book. Anyway, the core of the experience lasts typically few hours. It's for 10 people, 40 people, sometimes in extreme conditions like on Conquest of Mythodia, it's 10,000 people, which for other art forms is still not a really big audience if you compare it. When we take a look at other stuff like movies, games, theater, books, or even paintings and sculptures, or whatever artifacts that we human beings in the area of culture we produce, these all still are winning with LARPs in terms of how big the audience is, how many people participate in it, what is our target group, us, the artists, the craftsmen, the entertainers, how big this group is. So they are ephemeral, they are not popular, and when we start thinking about it, it's the audience is small, really. There is a problem is the whole experience. If you want to test labs or put them into, you know, the scientific method and see how they are working, we can easily do it with video game design, with books, with movies, but actually the experience of lab is really subjective. It's very personal For me, it can be different than to you and to you, even though we play not only in the same game, but for example, we play during 3 runs of the same game, we play and portray the same character. I'm gonna do it differently than you or you. It's gonna be very personal and hard to document. We can a little bit talk about it, but it's not scientific method at all. The next things that follow is the critical approach is limited. Like, it's hard to talk like in objective way about labs. Are they a success or they failed or why it happened and what can be improved? Of course, we can do a little bit of like typical critical job, but it's very limited. And it all narrowed down to this very sad sentence that on purpose I marked red, that even if we, as we gathered in this room, I'm gonna be world best designers, probably no one will hear about it. We will never be as famous as her. Like, we will never get that many fans. People won't care what we eat, where we spend our holidays. Even if we're gonna do marvelous job, the audience that's gonna love us, it's gonna be really, really limited. Maybe there is some hope in the future. I think I think we know this guy. If you watch the Westworld movie, then maybe in like 50 or 100 years, if we don't destroy our planet due to climate change, then we end up in spot like this position, that being like almost god monster that manipulates androids and human, and everybody pays him well, and he's got like thousands of acres of land to fill with his fantasies, and yeah, that's what all of us would want. But I don't know. I wish to all of us that we will find ourselves in this place. But okay, let's leave the land of imagination for a while and get back to what we really are. The second problem: labs are not mass products. Okay, some of us are living on doing labs, and some of us earn some even decent money on doing it, but it's not even close to mass production and not even close to what capitalism wants. We are living in capitalistic worlds. We need growth, we need new products, we need market, we need new market, personas, and all that stuff that big business wants. We don't have it in labs. They are artistic artifacts, ephemeral, even if you buy, something luxurious, like a golden necklace with a diamond, you're gonna have it. If you buy a luxurious LARP, it's gonna last with you, like in the movie The Game with Michael Douglas. It's gonna last for a couple of days, and that's it. It's gone. It's gonna vanish forever. So it's really hard to make it a mass product. And let's say a few things about mass products and capitalism. Goods are generating income, and that's why we want to have more. And the race for this money is won by knowledge, investment, experience, and innovation. And all of that stuff needs money to be poured in it. Labs are neither mass goods or services, so we don't make products. Like the vast majority of us is not making products. I'm not saying that there are not LARPs that are products, because of course they are, but the majority of us, if we decide to have this urge and write a new chamber lab for our friends or the group, we don't do the product, we do the ephemeral experience. So very often we fall into this strange syndrome that I call the good enough syndrome. What it means: have you heard one of those sentences? Players were kind of entertained. It was okay. There were really few good scenes, like in this game, right? And in general, nothing fucked up. Perfect. Wow, what it is. It's a really good LARP. Players liked it. There were a few good scenes. There are really nice pictures. Nothing went wrong. Come on, we did a fabulous job. That's what I call a good enough syndrome. Like, we live, the game designers and game producer, in a good enough shape. Like, we understand that it's not really professional, it's not a product. People will forget about it. We'll come to our next experience, next LARP, and it was okay. It's not a flop. Nothing went wrong. The idea survived. And yeah, we should be pleased with ourselves. And this is what I call the kamikaze design. Because what we really do, we are trying to hit the middle. These are our players. It's not a carrier with airplanes and bombers and atomic bombs or whatever. This is our LARP. Again, this is us. And this is, no, not yet. And this is, oh, how I jumped over here. Yeah, And this is what we are trying to achieve. Sink it, make it gone, and say, it is nice scene, it will blow, really nice, and everybody is going to remember. It happened, we gathered here, it's gone. Kamikaze Design, and I'm the designer who made this once in a lifetime experience. I get into this plane of my design, get into this plane of my scenario, fly high, hit, bam, everybody liked it. Few good scenes, people enjoyed it, it's gone. So it was okay. That's what we are doing. And I'm asking ourselves why we are doing that, why we are doing, all of us, because we checked it already, we do this one-time experience that all we do, we act like every time is a premiere and it's never a follow-up. We sometimes try to do it, sometimes to overcome, but we so much prefer to jump into a new plane and find a new vessel to sing, instead of thinking about what's cool in flying. How can we fly again? What can we do another time? And why can't we check every time where the vessel is? Is it big? How many people are there? Will we hit it? And live in this constant fear. Like, for example, people ask me, why are you stressed every time before the game? That is like the theater. You go on stage, you have the audience, you explain things. So why you are stressed? And I said, no, it's not like in the theater. It's like I would have a premiere of a new script every night in the theater. And it's totally different. Actors are really stressed before the premiere. And this, we are giving ourselves the same level of stress. Just think about it, what you are doing to yourself, what we all are doing to ourselves. We are permanently stressed having a premiere every time a new scenario is launched. That's exactly what we are doing. And should we? And how can we help it? I mean, there is this self-made man syndrome with us due to the fact that we put so much effort, we put so much work into what we are doing, and we usually learn everything by ourselves. There is this anecdote about broken ship. I live in a city of Gdynia, which is a port city, so we have, marine kind of jokes sometimes too. And the joke is that there is this big tanker ship with full of gasoline coming to the port and having the engine broken. And call for the guy, for the mechanic to fix it, and he comes, he touches the engine, he grabs his hammer, he listens to the engine, hits 3 times the big engine of the huge tanker and starts, and he says, please pay me 12,000 euros. And the captain says, why? You were here for 20 minutes. Why should I pay you 12,000 euros for 20 minutes of work? And the mechanic says, you pay me for 20 minutes of work and 30 years how I learned to do it in 20 minutes. And this is what we all keep doing. We are self-made men. We are constantly learning, constantly evolving, trying new ideas, so we are really good kamikaze pilots. We really know how to hit this Harrier because we did it hundreds of times already. But should we do it? Should we do it this way? I mean, I know that knowledge and investment take time, and time is money, and also putting time into making game design documentation. And after this whole euphoria that the Larp was good enough, nothing got broken, people liked the scenes and everything was cool, someone asked, like me, please sit down to your desk again, open the file and make the correction, because you've got the holy mirror twice instead of once in 2 different character sheets, and this relation is asymmetric between mother and son. So please make this correction. I know it takes you another 18 hours and no one's gonna pay you for that. And in the meantime, you can have another idea of yours and write a new game that again, you're gonna hit the carrier and be a kamikaze and have this really nice feeling that I didn't fail. Because to me, what we are doing and what we feel when we hit this carrier is not the joy that we launch another Larp, but it's also this dirty joy of not failing. Again, I had one in a lifetime chance and I made it. How cool am I, right? Everything is perfect. So let's go into other direction, because I still want to give you a tip on how to fix it. Let's go check if the situation is better in other places, like video game industry that generated over $1 billion of income last year. So I mean billion in Polish money, so it's a trillion in American, right? A trillion dollar last year. So how do they work? They work basically via iteration. They have this spiral model. Usually they build another prototype, test the prototype, build another prototype, implement changes, and they have this slow process of perfecting the player's experience. We don't have it. We don't have this money. We don't have $300 million like the GTA series is spending for the GTA 6 right now. We don't have the money that CD Projekt invested into Cyberpunk game, and it still flopped. So we cannot go down this road. So maybe academia, maybe the guys at the universities will give us a hand. Not really. As Todrick Hall sings in his musical, the shit is expensive. I don't know, have you ever tried to buy a book published for academia, for the universities? The prices, if you want to buy some game design books, start with 100 euros, sometimes it's 150 euro. These are the prices. If you want to download a single article about game design from Axel Springer, you're gonna pay less, like 60 euro. For 10 pages of the article. Not really a good option. There is this trouble with ACA funds. That's another reason, because on academia, there are people who generally love games, including labs, and they are called ACA funds. What does it mean? It's abbreviation of academic and fan, and it means that these people both work at the universities, they are scientists, they are teachers, writing articles, doing research, but they like what they do, meaning the academia cannot trust them. There is the whole discussion, are you objective enough? If you are academic that loves and in general likes and have the same hobby that you are trying to put under the research. And something says that you shouldn't, and you shouldn't like what you are researching. I don't know if you agree with that. I don't really, but there is a problem, and lots of people who are having some kind of hobby is not researching them because their articles and books are taken, not really seriously by the huge part of the academic movement. Scientists splitting hairs, that's another thing. That leads to scientists not giving them nice answer because the researchers, when they are doing the research and try how to fix things and do them better, they do it in a scientific method which really is not very close to practical side that we need, and we need to do it better. So where is the help? What we can do to do something else if we have this ephemeral, this evanescence nature, and labs as not being unproductibility, I mean that you cannot produce them and it's hard. Self-made genius syndrome, kamikaze design, and pretty useless academia. What we can do, I still think that it's this intrinsic motivation is what should save us and pushes us to sit and go back to your design, write it better, think about making it print and play or print, play and prepare format, and just put it to the market, put it to the audience, write it in English or give it to your friend who is fluent in English and will translate it so that we in Poland can play a LARP from Greece, and you in Greece can play the LARP from Italy, and you in Italy can play the LARP from Slovenia, Serbia, or China, or New Zealand, whatever goes. Like, please, write your games, keep translating them, because everything we know about the motivation is that out of this most crucial intrinsic motivation, for us, the game designers, there are a lot of things that tackle us and makes us do things, like the empowerment. I don't know how about you, but one of the most cool moments when I'm preparing labs is when I press print button on my computer and I look at these character sheets and they go out of my printer, 700 pages. This is such a nice moment. 8 months of writing in a group of 4 people. I love it. I feel powerful. I made something. I've got it. So please, I'm gonna tell you, if you publish your scenario like a booklet and upload it to the internet, to the drive-through RPG or some other places, it's really cool when you see that people download it. Status, you're gonna be one of the very few who publish LARPs. Okay, you're gonna be in a very selected group, so please do it. Collecting, it's also a nice thing that you can print your labs and have them collected on a bookshelf. Please be a collectors. I know, except labs, you're also collecting your gear, your latex swords. Some of you play Magic the Gathering. We know how to collect stuff. Let's collect our LARPs. How many of your labs are gone from your hard drive, from your Google disks, from your old laptop that got sunken during the post-apocalyptic LARP, and you know, there were 3 great LARPs from the 1997, and you're never gonna get them back. Plenty of those. Let's collect them. Order. Okay, let's keep it in order like this is collecting for me. I'm from the north of Poland. We have lots of German genes in us, so I would like to have order in my LARPs, and making them print and play would make me feel secure and safe and better. And the curiosity is, that's one of the best things I had when for the first time I played my LARP for the second time, and when I published my LARP in one of the Prism anthologies, the first Prism, the queer booklet and anthology. And I heard from some people from different countries like Belarus and US that they played my LARP and they had crazy experience. They made some changes. Well done, do it, it's cool. I want to hear your stories, because I'm not gonna play my LARP or run my LARP for as many people as they will play by themselves if they find it online. Like we at Black Wall Street City are looking constantly for LARPs online and play it in Poland. And we also write emails to guys in New Zealand. Hey, we did it, it's cool, we like it. And they always write us back. If we look a little bit deeper into intrinsic motivation, there is this very cool self-determination theory, which also explains why we do things just for the sake of the things, not for money, not for anything else. We feel autonomy, competence, and relatedness. Means all of us can do in our own time, because we all are self-made genius, write down your own scenario. You can do it. It's not that hard. You are competent to do it. You can do it on your own, and you know how to do it. And relatedness, guys, if you want to promote our hobby, and if we don't want to feel ashamed that after 3 years escape rooms became so popular that every child in every country in Europe or US knows what escape room is. And when we say LARP, like Alessandro said, you need to explain it to the guys in the bunker. If you say it's kind of like big escape room for 5 days for 80 people, they know shit. Come on, this is important. Feel the relatedness. Let's promote LARP. And there is no better way of doing it, like stop being the kamikaze, write down our scripts, and publish them online for others. Thank you.